Hello. I'm not doing any sound design or anything like that in this video. The only thing I want to talk about is this mod button thing here. I'm very comfortable with modular synthesis or Eurorack or whatever, and a big part of that is attenuation and attenuverting. So I have a real fundamental understanding of what's going on, but it's still sometimes hard for me to wrap my head around what I need to do or don't need to do, things like that. It twists my head up for whatever reason. For some people, I'm sure it's very simple and very straightforward, but I just don't have the brain for kind of math or whatever this sciencey thing would be. Either way, I'm assuming that there's other people out there that feel the same way, so that's what this video is kind of trying to explain what exactly is going on here. I have this other device over here. This is the exact same thing. I've just deleted the sort of LFO movement part of it. So now I can just turn this knob so we can see what happens. So you can see it's essentially the same thing. The output is the right side here. So you can see that line. If you just focus on this, you can see what it's doing. Don't focus on the entire picture. Just focus on this right side and watch it, and you can see exactly what's happening. Now watch this knob. And that's the basic idea. So this, let's say that this is 0% and this is 100%. If you assign a modulator to it, it's the exact same thing, assuming that it's set up in this way. Normally, it'll be set up like this when you first load in some sort of modulator, whatever it would be. So you're not actually going to see anything happen. Like, let's pretend this is an LFO. You don't actually see the bottom side of the sine wave do anything to the knob. And look what I made. Really impressed. So the center of the line is 0%. Above is 50%, and below is negative 50%. So when it's not assigned, this is 0% and this is 100%. When it is assigned, a good way to think about it is the needle is always 0% relative to the modulator. So right now, this modulator can put out negative 50% or plus 50%. And since this is 0%, you can see what happens. So it's kind of like it's just shifting the entire number up or down. It's still 0 to 100. It's just where it goes in relation to this needle. So if you turn it all the way down, this whole bottom half isn't going to do anything because that's a negative number, and there's nowhere for this needle to go. It can't go any lower. So if you turn it all the way up, you can kind of imagine that same sort of thing is happening here where you just can't see it. So this is now plus 50%, and the line isn't moving because there's nowhere for it to go. Now if we get down into the negative numbers, now you can see it moving around. So here I have each one of these assigned. Relative to where the needle is, you can see what's happening with the modulation. We go to negative 50%, it's the exact same thing, just inverted. Attenuation, attenuverter. For me, I kind of feel like this is the most simple way to use it. I'm surprised that this isn't kind of the default setting, but I think it's just one of those things where maybe the other way makes more sense to you. This way makes more sense to me. Either way, now it's more like this. The bottom is 0%, the middle is 25%, and the top is 50%, according to this little number here. So if I turn this all the way up, you can see this stops at 50%. I go up to 100. Now it'll travel the whole way. But if I turn this up and turn this down, it can't get down here. This needle is 0%. To get below 0%, you need to go into a negative number, and this is not going to output a negative number with this little button selected. So this is down, and this is all the way turned up. The third one is never going to move because it's already set. It's not set. The needle is 0% from here. So to get down here, we would need to go into negative numbers. So kind of like thinking, like I said before, the movement that we see here on this first one, it's still kind of happening here. You just can't see it. And it's not going to have any effect because basically the knob is already turned all the way up. You can't turn it up anymore. If you click the mod button here, it'll switch to remote. This is how everything used to be in Ableton, kind of the old kind of standard way. And this makes much more sense. This is much more simple what's happening. The output can now go from 0% to 32%. Now it can go to 40%, so on and so forth. It's essentially the same thing here with just a little bit more flexibility on where you can set these knobs before the modulation happens, but also being able to go down into negative numbers or switch back and forth. There's just much more flexibility there. So yeah, that's the mod button. Again, I really feel like I have a very fundamental understanding of what's happening, how to use this, to the extent that a lot of times I almost sort of don't, like, if I start to think about it too much, I'll get tripped up. If I don't think about it, I just kind of know intuitively what to do. So even after, if this is confusing to you, and even after watching this, it still confuses you. For some of us, it makes sense. It's just how we are, for whatever reason, having trouble sort of doing the mental gymnastics of, well, this is outputting 100% and this needle is 0%. It's all very weird and confusing. But once it does kind of click for you, it should click in a pretty fundamental way to where, you can use it to your advantage. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful, and